Hallmarkies podcast. This is the episode where we talk about the non-Hallmark related Christmas content that we're getting, and we are covering a lot this episode. We're covering Lifetime, Netflix, Disney Plus. So strap in. It's very exciting. We're going for it. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Amy's here.
Hello.
Yes. How are you doing? You enjoying this Thanksgiving week?
Yes, it's nice to be off of school.
Yeah. This might be airing on Thanksgiving itself, so or the day after, one or the other, I'm not sure, but happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yay. And hopefully if you're having a more solo Thanksgiving than you have in the past, you can listen to the podcast and just really enjoy it. So that will be great. And so we'd had a really strong start, but I have to say, I don't know about you, but I feel like Lifetime has really been hurting. They at that first weekend they were very strong, but compared to Hallmark, it is not even close so far. Would you agree, or is that your strongest statement?
Well, I really haven't watched any Hallmark left. I've watched like 4 of the Hallmark. So I have to say, so far, I mean, and then with Up, there's only been like 4, so there's really not a lot to compare.
The Lifetime movies are way more acquisitions, you can tell. And I don't know if they're kind of they're saving a lot of their original content for after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can just tell with the budgets and with other things. And yeah, there's one that I really didn't like that we're going to talk about. The other one was fine, but I really didn't like one movie. And it, as I would like to say, it took me to a dark place. And we're going to talk about it. And you might enjoy it, and that's great. And but that's just my opinion. And here on the podcast, we have all different opinions. And so let's dive in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about A Taste of Christmas. This was on Lifetime Channel. This stars Ani Kruger, Giles Marini, Nia Vardalos, in basically a cameo. And it's when Natalie learns her cousin Francesca must cancel the Christmas Eve opening of her new Italian restaurant. Natalie's heart goes out to all of the guests planning to attend. That's all the summary that we got, which is not a very good summary.
No.
But basically, there's more. She ends up offering to host a bunch of carolers that are away, that are from Italy, I think. And she starts to get pretty chummy with this chef. And then there's also the romance between, was that her niece?
No, she just was in the town.
Just a friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a little romance between 2 teenagers. And so, Amy, what was your overall thoughts about this movie?
I liked it, but at the same time, it was very like far-fetched, I guess. It was just a little, because the thing is, so this snowstorm in Italy prevented like everyone from doing something in Christmas. So my thought process is, what is the chances of, in the same small town, the aunts in Italy can't come home, the choir is from Italy, can't go home, and the teenage boy who was working, he couldn't see his family because he couldn't get to Italy because of the storm. There was way too many people in this town that a snowstorm in Italy impacted this tiny town.
Tropical Storm Megan was not kind to the Italians in this movie.
I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? Why? How many people can be impacted by this Italy snowstorm?
Yeah. I also thought that the script was pretty bad in this movie. I thought the dialogue was not great. Like, people don't talk like they talked in this movie very much, and I thought they just woefully underused Nia Vardalos. I mean, have you ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Have you ever seen that? I love that movie. I think it's so funny. And she can be so funny, and she's just a cameo in this movie, hardly in it at all.
I was genuinely concerned at the beginning that it was only going to be phone calls the entire time.
Yeah.
But she didn't show up until like the end of the movie that she was actually there.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the My Christmas Inn, where they advertised Jack Kay and Tim Reed that they were going to be in the movie. And you think, oh, sister reunion, so fun. And they were on Skype the whole time.
Yeah,
like, what
exactly.
are you doing? And she was kind of a frustrating character because she was so helpless. I mean, she can't reheat lasagna without burning down her house. I mean, come on. I mean, I know there's not knowing how to cook, but I feel like any intelligent human can reheat
any adult that lives on their own knows how to use a microwave.
Right. I mean, yeah. And I thought the carolers were not up to snuff. If they're supposed to be these carolers from Italy, then they needed to be better than that. They were not that good. And it was like, they were so depressed about missing Christmas in Italy. And I get being home from your family is hard on in Christmas, but they knew they were taking this trip awfully close. Like, it's not like they were abducted or something like they were acting like.
Also, is there genuinely that big of snowstorms in Italy that would close for like 5 days, close airports?
Well, there's like in northern Italy, like the Italian Alps, there's like mountains and snow and stuff. Like they even had the Olympics there not too long ago. I forget the name of the town. But yeah, so they do have snow there, but
it was like a long period of time they were stuck though.
That's and it takes a lot to like close down international travel
for that long.
Yeah, like, when there's not COVID or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But the best part about this movie, by far, in my opinion at least, was the little teen romance. They were really cute.
They were really cute.
I liked them way better than the adults.
Yeah, he definitely should not have taken the advice of the chef at all. But other than that, they were really cute. I liked their little romance. It was fun. And we don't normally get younger incorporated as much, younger romances as much. One of the parts I thought was a little odd is that they wanted the teenage boy to fix all of the plumbing in this restaurant.
Yeah.
I was like, there is no plumber in this town.
And it was weird too, because the whole scene where the pipes burst, like usually that joke is like he gets all sprayed with water, then the girl comes, click, 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 she figures it out, right? That's kind of the joke of like, you didn't think I could do it, ha ha ha. But instead, they were like, we're just gonna make her even more wet, even more.
It's funny.
I was like, you kind of missed the joke, right?
I was like, everyone is wet now. Okay, now what?
And cuddly and making the pasta and everything.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I did. It was really cute.
Yeah, that was another highlight. I'm sure that Dory, our friend Dory, would probably hate that scene, but I liked it. It's ridiculous, but I liked it. And so he really wants this like special olive oil that you can only get in Italy. Whereas like the thing about that is that like there's nothing that you can't have shipped overnight. Like, I'm sorry, maybe in COVID, but other than that, any kind of product like that you can have delivered in this day and age. I mean, maybe if it was like super fragile, maybe.
Or like if they were out or something, like it was back ordered.
Yeah, you can even get like ice cream sent across the country. You can get stuff that you think you wouldn't be able to now. It's very common. In fact, I just got there's these cookies that they only sell in New York State called Malamars, which are my favorite cookie. They're really good. And just for a lark, I decided to order some off of Amazon. And so I ordered 3 boxes of Malamar cookies and they came in the mail from New York State. I mean, things like that. You can do that, tons of stuff like that these days. So I find it hard to believe that he couldn't get this oil.
I know. That's why I was like, really?
Especially if he's a chef. Like I would think a chef would have especially good connections, and an Italian chef, no less.
And if he had just come from Italy, why didn't he bring some with him?
Yeah, if it was that like crucial to his mojo, I don't know. But and then we get kind of at the end, he burns the dessert. And then they serve the cookies to the carolers, and so that's kind of like he is, I guess, flawed too. Like just like she burned everything, he burns everything. I guess, I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't the best movie, but it had a few moments. I'll give this one 2.5 crowns.
Yeah, that's also what I gave it, 2.5. So
yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, let's talk about The Princess Switch 2. Switched again. And this is on Netflix. And I did a review over on my channel if you want to hear more of my thoughts over there. This stars Vanessa Hudgens, Sam Palladino, and Nick Sager. And it is when Duchess Margaret unexpectedly inherits the throne to Montenero and hits a rough patch with Kevin, it's up to her double, Stacy, to save the day before a new lookalike party girl, Fiona, foils their plans. Did you get to see this?
Yes. So good. Like,
yeah.
These, what is it? The Netflix Christmas universe, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's like this and then the Prince for Christmas series or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The other one. They just are continually with every year getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I love it.
That's what I said in my review. I said, this is completely ridiculous. It knows it is. It camps it up. It has fun with it. If that's not your thing, this is not going to be for you. But if it is, you'll have a really good time. I mean, she was basically Cruella de Vil.
Yes.
As this cousin. She was hilarious. She might as well have had one of those like one of those long cigarettes like Cruella has, you know? Yeah. And then they're just like, darling, diamonds.
It's so good though. I was
it's
like,
so tacky.
Oh. Yeah, but it was so good. She did such a good job with all three of them. I thought they were all funny.
Yeah, especially basically this movie had two jobs to do. It needed to make me laugh with the campy ridiculousness, and it needed to have hot guys to enjoy. And it provided on both counts. And they were very, very attractive. Sam Palladino, Nick Sager, very good looking and very swoon worthy. And all the stuff with Kevin and Margaret was very swoon worthy. And their little like dates and stuff. And then everything with Stacy's guy, I can't think of his name, where they're married and trying to figure things out. Yeah, just a handsome guy. He was really good. And but I loved Fiona. She was so funny, I thought.
And her two little henchmen or
they like were Cruella de Vil. Like it really was.
Exactly. That's like the whole time I was like, oh my goodness, this is so funny.
Yeah. And so yeah, if you like a little bit of camp in your Christmas, if you like a little bit of ridiculousness, then you'll enjoy this. There was
also really cute romance in this.
Yeah,
too.
Really cute romance.
And I have to say,
a little bit more heat than we get in Hallmark. Just nothing gross or anything, but just a little bit more. I mean, we do have one of the couples is married, so come on. But yeah, I went fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm very proud of the fact that it is currently at 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yay! Way to go. Way to go, fellow critics. And I think this Nick Sager, he is so attractive. I mean, I think he's a talented actor too, but I just think, and especially because he's like a dad in this, and, he's very thoughtful. I really liked him a lot. He did a good job.
Oh, yeah.
So very good. How many stars will you give this?
I gave it 4.
Yeah.
So.
I think I forget what did I give it on Rotten Tomatoes? I gave it a 6.5 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, but that's comparing it to all other movies, not comparing it to TV movies. So my rubric's a little bit different. So yeah, I think I'll go with you and do a 4 out of 5 for Switched Again, the Princess Switch or whatever. It was really fun.
The Princess Switch
Princess,
switched again. Is
yeah,
what
that's
it's
right.
called.
Princess Switch Switched Again. Also, she looked fabulous. Her coronation outfit was beautiful. Her dress, I thought she looked
Oh yeah.
really good. So very well done on that one. All right. Well,
Would you watch a third one?
yes, I would. Absolutely.
But
Princess, but I don't know. Can you have quadruplet look like? I mean, come on. Is
no,
that going
but
too far?
since they've started this like cinematic universe thing, could they bring in either her character from the Night movie or bring in the princess? What is the other series of movies that's
Yeah,
had 3 or
the
4?
Christmas Prince.
Christmas Prince. Bring that in and have the next movie be like a crossover Christmas movie. We're talking
Yeah.
about like the Infinity War of Christmas movies right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. I see. I was a little disappointed in the Night one last year because to me it didn't lean into camp enough. It wasn't funny enough. It was a little bit too serious, and maybe my expectations were just too high on that one. But this one totally delivered for me on what I wanted out of it. So way to go, well done. All right, so I'm going to give my little review for another film on Netflix. This is just short, 40 minutes, called Alien Xmas. And this is an animated stop motion film, and it's on Netflix. And it has the voices of Dee Bradley Baker, who's a big famous voice talent, and Barbara Goodson and a bunch of other people. And it's when extraterrestrials attempt to steal Earth's gravity, only the gift-giving spirit of Christmas and a small alien named X can save the world. And really, it's more about this alien who is taught to steal. That's what he knows. He's a klepto alien. And so he ends up being given as kind of a doll to this little girl. And she kind of teaches him to not steal and be nice and, be Christmassy. It's really cute. It's very similar in story to Lilo and Stitch, where Lilo gets Stitch and kind of has to teach him to be not insane. Kind of similar. It's similar to that. It's not as Lilo and Stitch goes to some pretty dark places, with them, with her parents being dead and them going to lose the house. And, so there's some pretty dark stuff in Lilo and Stitch. It doesn't do quite that, but nevertheless, it's kind of a similar idea. And I thought this was really cute. I mean, I love animation. I love stop motion animation, but it's such a hallmark of Christmas and the Christmas season to have, stop motion animated special. There were so many going back to like your Rudolphs and your The Town Without Santa Claus and even my the Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey, which is ridiculous, but I like it. And so I feel like this is a worthy entry in that tradition of a short film, stop motion animation. And it's cute. Like as he becomes better, his color he starts to change colors and get like more color. He's kind of gray, and then he changes as it's cute. It's really cute. And so I recommend it. I think that families will really enjoy it. And like I said, it's only 42 minutes, so not too much of a commitment. So I would give it 4 stars for Alien Xmas. All right. Well, we've hemmed and hawed. Now we have to talk about Homemade Christmas on Lifetime Channel.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Take a deep breath.
Peaceful thoughts. This stars Michelle Arganis and Travis Nelson, who I'm sure are lovely humans. My thoughts on this movie has nothing to do with them. It's just my feelings. So it's every year, Megan, an ambitious young woman, uses the weeks leading up to Christmas to become the ultimate holiday freelance assistant for hire, helping with any Christmas-related tasks for extra income. But when the opportunity arrives to save a Christmas party and dazzle her crush, she must choose between the man of her aspirations and Mr. Right. That is not a very good explanation of this movie. I wish we'd gotten that movie. That's not what this movie is.
No.
Well, I think it's kind of almost a mute point to talk about the plot of this movie, because I just found both of the lead characters to be so irritating. I disliked them both so much that it was really hard for me to finish it. I thought they were both so entitled, so irritating, and I just really disliked them. And so it almost doesn't even matter what the plot was for me, because I did not like either of them, to be honest.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit about the plot then.
Yeah.
It didn't start for the first 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, this plot, like, it dragged. And I was watching this late at night, so it just made it worse. I was like, okay, are we going to is there a point here?
So basically what the real plot is, not this plot that I just read, the real plot is that Megan goes to work on the Christmas trees of this toy store. She gets there, and there's happens to be another Megan that they're hiring that same day that happens to be a little bit late, that is she's a marketing professional, this other Megan. Well, the toy guy doesn't realize that the tree Megan lady is not the marketing Megan lady, and so he introduces her to their investor as the marketing investor lady. And so then they basically it is presented as they are desperate, and so they're offering to pay her over $5,000 in order to pretend to be Megan for the pitch that they're going to do. And she is just so insufferable about the whole thing. And I'm like, man, if somebody wanted to pay me $5,000 to pretend to do this, sign me up, you know?
And she didn't have to go along with it if she really didn't want to do it. That's one of the things. I was like, why are you doing it then if you are you don't want to? Just say no. Like,
and honestly, like, what investor in the world is not going to be like, okay, this is the correct Megan. Sorry, we introduced you to the wrong one. There was a miscommunication. Here's the correct one. Okay, fine. That's great. Do a good job. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
This whole movie could have been explained away in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
easy.
Oh, goodness.
And if he's going to be like, he's so particular about what he wants. Like, I don't really understand why he needed this pitch person to begin with. If he has this idea of what he wants for this company, then he should just do it himself. He's perfectly capable of doing it himself. And so he was irritating. He calls her up at all times of the day, and that's supposed to be somehow appealing. We're supposed to like him. And he is so lucky that he has any investors at all for an old-timey toy store. Are you kidding me? And he wants it to, like, I don't know what he wanted exactly with the toy store. Like, he wanted to expand, but he didn't want to expand. And he's upset about things being set up differently, which is the whole reason. Why do you hire a Christmas
why did you hire her if you didn't want her to do her job?
But then she's really annoying about any idea that she has. And I felt for the Chase guy, the wrong guy who's supposed to be your bad man of business, because I'm like, he makes sense. He's sensible. He's like actually trying to be helpful and like help her. And the only reason that we don't like him is because literally they're telling us that we shouldn't like him. But he was completely reasonable, I thought. I'm just like, I'm on the side of Chase, Mr. Business. And I just, like I said, I just found her so irritating, and it's not the fault of any of the actresses. It's just the way the character was written was very annoying to me. And I just said in my notes, how's the evil corporate guy more likable than the little guy in this movie? Like, what? And then there was one scene where that you can tell this is an acquisition, because did you like that one scene where he spills coffee on himself himself and he changes shirts. I was like, ooh. Like, that's an acquisition. And there's like a really, really long snowball fight in this movie. And even that wasn't charming. Even that I was irritated with them. I'm like, if you don't want to get in a snowball, don't be in a snowball fight.
There was so many frustrating things about this movie.
Yes.
We could go on forever, but
yeah,
we probably shouldn't.
yeah, I just really didn't like it. I give it a 1 star.
A 1. It's literally at the bottom of my list, right next to Crafty Christmas Romance. So
I would rather watch Crafty Christmas Romance. I would. I would rather watch it than this because that was just boring.
Yeah,
like they were fine. That was just a little boring. Whereas this was actively irritating to me. Yeah. And so it gets 52 on my. That's how many Christmas movies I've watched. 52 so far this year.
On and 23, I think.
52. And my bottom 3 are Christmas on Wheels, Crafty Christmas Romance, and then way below is Only Christmas. I'd be shocked if anything comes out that I like less than. I hope not. Ooh. But yeah. So there we go. Well, let's talk about Dolly Parton, Christmas on the Square. You didn't get to see this?
No, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. So this movie, it stars Dolly Parton, Christine Baranski, Treat Williams, and it's an embittered Scrooge of a woman plans to sell her small town regardless of the consequences to the people who live there. And I gave this movie a diamond ring in our preview show. I was really excited about it because I love Dolly. And I think she's just such a sweetheart and such a good person. And even whenever you hear about things that are going wrong, she's like trying to make a difference and trying to help. And she has her imagination library in Dollywood. And she's just a great songwriter. I love her. I love Steel Magnolias. I love 9 to 5. I love Dolly. So and it seems like such a brilliant move to me to cast Christine Baranski as like a Scrooge type. She's so fun. But this movie didn't really work for me. And I feel like I need to talk about some spoilers. So if people haven't seen the movie, then stop. We'll talk a little bit about it and then we'll say stop. And then we'll talk about a spoiler thing that I didn't like. But overall, what was your overall thoughts about this movie?
So I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was, I liked the music. I really did. I liked most of the actors were really good. I identified with one of the characters in a personal way, which I'm not going to talk about on the podcast, but I really did identify with one of the characters. The thing is, though, this movie to me didn't scream movie. It screamed stage. It was very disconnected in a movie aspect. I felt like I was watching a live recording of a stage show.
Yeah, no, it did. It felt almost like one of those live musicals.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Grease Live or those kinds of things. It felt like that to me. So yeah, I liked some of the music as well. I feel this movie is, you feel like you're kicking a kitten when you're criticizing this movie, because it was obviously made with like the best of intentions, huge love. So I get that. And I did, like I said, I did like the music in general and the overall kind of positive feeling amongst the whole thing. So, all right. So here we're going to talk about a spoiler, but there's a whole plot in this movie about Christine Baranski's character when she was like 16, 17. And she is very bitter about it. And turns out that the pastor in the town was that baby. And at least to me, I felt like the message kind of, because her father takes the baby away and gives it. And she's saying, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And the message in the end to me was saying, oh, he really did do the right thing. He saw what was right. And that's not okay. Like, I am huge on adoption. I support adoption. I love adoption. But you don't take anyone's baby away from them. That is wrong. It doesn't matter if things turned out okay in the end. That is wrong. adoption only works if the birth mother willfully agrees, if the birth mother agrees to have someone else adopt her child. You don't take anyone's baby from them. That is wrong. And that really bothered me. And I just thought, how are we supposed to be looking at her father as some kind of good person and who believed in this town and stole her baby from her? No, I didn't like it. That bothered me.
Have you watched Dolly Parton's Heartstrings series on Netflix yet?
No.
Okay. This movie felt like they took about 3 episodes and combined the stories. A lot, because that storyline is in one of the episodes of Dolly Parton's Heartstrings. It's a little bit different. The dad's more of like an evil character in that episode, but still it felt like she took some of the storylines that were in the Heartstrings series, which is an amazing series. I love that series. I want them to do another season, and put them in this movie kind of. And it was just a little weird, a little disjointed. Yeah, but I did love the music and the dancing, and it had amazing cast. I kind of saw him being her son thing. I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, no, it was that is true. Yeah. I agree with that.
The thing I didn't see coming though was Janine Mason's character, Felicity. I didn't at first think at all she was going to be an angel. Like that I didn't see coming at all. And I love Janine Mason. I think she did awesome in this movie. I really, she is one of my favorite actresses. I just wish she's one So You Think You Can Dance, and she was one of the characters who danced the least in the entire movie.
Oh, I see. I'm unfamiliar with her.
Yeah, so she's one So You Think You Can Dance, but she hardly danced in this movie. And I was like looking forward to the movie so much because I wanted to see her dance more. Because like obviously when I saw her in Grey's Anatomy and Roswell, New Mexico, she's not dancing as those characters. Right. So in this movie, I was like, oh, she's going to be dancing and she's going to be singing. And I was looking for so much more of that. And she was she didn't dance that much. I was like, what?
What did you think about that whole song with Christine Baranski and the little girl at the bar? I thought that sounds so odd. Very strange.
It was very odd. And also, did no one say, hey, maybe we shouldn't have a little kid pour alcohol?
Yeah, it was so weird. And they kind of joke about it like, oh, this is weird, but then they go through with it. I don't know, especially for being like such a overtly Christian, faith-centered film. Like I'd say this is a faith-based film. And so for it to be so overtly that way, and then have the little girl pouring the whiskey was just very strange.
Yeah, I was
all singing a song together.
And was it her grandfather that was sitting at the table, or her uncle, or something? I was like, why didn't the adult come pour the alcohol?
Yeah, well, he comes in later. Like they start, it's just the two of them, I think.
Well, there was a guy sitting at one of the tables in the bar.
Was there?
When she walked in, and I don't know if she said, oh, that's my uncle, or oh, that's my grandpa, or something like that. I'm like, why didn't he pour the alcohol? Why are they letting the little girl pour? And then she pours herself some chocolate milk, and I was like,
yeah, and they're like toast. I think they even cheered each other. It's very strange. But yeah, I'm sure that breaks a lot of health code there going on, thankfully. So I gave this in my review on my blog. I gave it a 3 out of 10. But as far as with TV movies, I would give it a 2 out of 5, I guess, stars.
So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
But
yeah, so let us know if you've seen it, what you thought about it. It has, I think, a pretty high Rotten Tomatoes score. So evidently I'm one of the only naysayers, but it's so I understand that. But anyway, that's just our thoughts on the film.
I'd rather see it on stage. The movie was weird.
Yeah, I would too. I'd rather see it on stage.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Our last film to talk about is just me sharing my thoughts on the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. And this, you can see my full review also over on my channel. This is on Disney Plus, and this has a ton of different voice talent. And then it's Rey leaves her friends to prepare for Life Day as she sets off on an adventure to gain a deeper knowledge of the Force. At a mysterious temple, she is hurled into a cross timeline adventure. Will she make it back in time for Life Day? Have you ever heard of the Star Wars holiday special?
Yes, and I've never watched any of them.
Okay, no, there's just one. So the Star Wars Holiday Special is kind of infamous for being a total train wreck and disaster.
Oh, okay.
Kind of reached that cult status of sort of so bad it's good kind of level.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really bad. There's just like random people singing weird things, and
But
Mark Hamill looks bizarre,
is
and
this Lego Star Wars though, I thought?
no. This is the original Star Wars Holiday Special. I think it was in 1979 or
Oh,
something like that. It was right after the original Star Wars. And like George Lucas, he like tried to have all the copies destroyed. So much. And I mean it's one of those films with such like a cult following because it's so bad. It's good kind of a thing, like The Room or one of these movies. And so here they're having this Lego Star Wars holiday special.
mhm.
And they do have a few tie-ins to the Star Wars holiday special, like Life Day, and because they're not actually celebrating Christmas, because Star Wars technically is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So I don't think they even have Christmas
Okay.
because it's Jesus wasn't like there in that
Wait.
planet, right? So they don't have Christmas, is what I'm trying to say, in Star Wars because they don't have Jesus in Star Wars. This is getting very deep, contemplative here.
Okay.
Anyway, they have Life Day, and Life Day is something that Chewbacca and his family and the other Wookiees celebrate, is Life Day. And that's pretty much the only real connection that they have to the original Star Wars special. In this Star Wars special, this is that Life Day is part of it, not Christmas. So anyway, and but you still have like they're wearing holiday sweaters and this is pretty much just an attempt by Star Wars to make fun of themselves and to laugh and make you laugh. It's 44 minutes, and there's a lot of jokes about the Star Wars sequels a lot of jokes about the Emperor and if the Rise of Skywalker, the Emperor returns, and there's a lot of jokes about that. There's a point where you get two Darth Vaders, and they're kind of fighting against each other, and that's funny. There's also two Han Solos at a certain point. There's old Han Solo and young Han Solo, and that's funny. And they're like there for Life Day. There were quite a few funny jokes. I laughed a lot. There's also this other show on Cartoon Network called Robot Chicken. And Robot Chicken did a series of Star Wars spoofs and satire that's more R-rated, but it's probably a little bit funnier. But still, like this made me laugh quite a bit. And this is something you can watch with like your whole family and just have a good laugh together, which I appreciate. And the animation is nothing special. It's fine, but it's not great. And then the main flaw I would have with this movie is that the voice cast, they have some people coming back like Kelly Marie Tran and a few other people, Anthony Daniels, Billy D. Williams. Some people come back from and voice their parts, but most of the others are people trying to imitate the actors, particularly the Daisy Ridley voice actress. I thought was not great, and so I thought all the voice acting was kind of weak, which surprised me because usually that's something that Disney is really careful about to make sure they have consistency in voices. I've went to a whole panel at D23 about that, about how they have their sort of a gallery of voices to sound like the original performers. Anyway, and so that was a flaw that I noticed at least. And humor is always super subjective, and I don't think this is you're only going to laugh if you know what they're referring to and what they're joking about, for the most part.
Is it canon with the Star Wars movies, or is like the Lego series kind of separate
Well, when they first started, they claimed that it was canon, like the what do they call it? The I think it's called the Freemaker Adventures or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I have lost track. The Disney canon has kind of gotten out of control because not only do you have the live action, but you have all the books, the comic books, you have the television shows with Rebels and Clone Wars and Rise of the Resistance, and even there, I was a little bit surprised. They make fun of Galaxy's Edge quite a bit. There's quite a few jokes about Batuu and stopping over the gift shops and get Batuu and stuff like that. So that was funny. I was a little surprised that they did that, but that's supposedly canon. So who knows? Who cares? But I laughed. That's all I really care about. It was funny to me. So you can cut all that out if you want.
Yeah, I won't cut that out, but we just had a Star Wars rant.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, and I gave the Star Wars. I guess. I didn't give it a score. I just said fresh. So I would give this one 3.75 out of 5. It was funny. It made me laugh. So that's what its job is to do. And so if people like Star Wars, then I think you'll enjoy this and you have a lot of fun as a family. It was definitely one of the more like just joyous, fun things to happen in Star Wars for a while. I remember what I was going to say. Also, blue and green milk, boo. It's disgusting. Don't get it. It's gross.
I think I've only had them once. The blue milk I kind of liked. It tasted like Fruit Loops. The green milk, I don't know what was wrong with it. It didn't taste good.
They both tasted like perfume to me.
Those noodles that are purple and white and they change color, they're disgusting. Don't eat them. Just don't get them.
Yeah. Blue and green milk, down on that. Gross. But the Ronto wrap, thumbs up.
Oh,
that was delicious.
That's good food. Also,
way overpriced, $12. But
if you get the kids' chicken nuggets, don't be surprised that you just get a block of square chicken. They're not chicken nuggets. It's just it tastes good. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to use a knife and a fork. It's not chicken nuggets.
I forget what they call that. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah. Oh, I miss Disneyland so much. Oh. But 5 stars to Disneyland.
We miss you. If you want a little bit, I guess, of that, they do have the Sims 4 Now expansion pack where you can play in Batuu. I haven't done a playthrough yet of it. I want to do it for my channel because I'm really excited to play through that game.
That'd be fun. Well, and there's also tons of content about Disneyland on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. So if people haven't looked up the Imagineering documentaries and some of the stuff they have, there's a lot of really fun stuff over there. So anyway, so there we go. That is what we had to discuss for this episode. Let us know what you think of all the different stuff that we talked about, all the different films. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And Amy, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at It's Amy Craig.
Yes, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. And make sure you're following the podcast to Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That means a lot to us. We also have our Patron group, which is really fun. And we have coming up, we'll let you know the dates and everything, but we have our watch along for December that's going to be with Greg McBride on watching A Heavenly Christmas. It's going to be so fun. And so sign up today. We also have our merch store, which has tons of festive designs, including a Star Wars inspired design and a lot of really great stuff that's all on sale this week. So if you're looking for gifts for the Hallmarky, the Christmas fan, the Hardy in your life, we have everything. We got you covered. So take a look over there. We would really appreciate it. Any support for the podcast. And we'll have all that in the description. You can check it out. So thanks so much. And Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.